Yeah, people are not going to want to hear this, but it needs to be said. You cannot consider yourself a good parent if you play favoritism with your children. You can go ahead and say that you love all of your children equally, but if you treat your children differently, meaning that you treat one child worse than the other child and one child is treated better than the other child, then that means that you're not a good parent. Now, I get it that children are like all children are different and all children have to be communicated with differently and whatever the case is, but there should be equality when it comes to how the children are receiving love. There should be equality on how the children are given human decency and compassion and respect. If you have double standards where if one child does something, it's all fine and it's all sweet, but if your other child does something, then it's fucking war, then you're a bad parent. If you sit here and you pour in so much time and energy and attention into one child, but another child you are ignoring, you're a bad parent. If when one child accomplishes something, you just, put them on this pedestal and act like what they did was just the most amazing thing ever, and you just brag and boast about them and you just go show them off to the rest of your family and friends. But when another child does something even like just as good and you ignore them, you dismiss them, and you don't give that same type of energy, you're a bad parent. And a lot of you are bad parents out there and you want to think that you're good parents, but you're not. Because if you're playing favoritism with your children, you don't even realize what that is doing to your child. And this is exactly why you are the cause for your children's behavioral issues. Because the child that you are pouring into more, the child that is treated like the favorite, the child that gets away with murder, that can misbehave, can be disrespectful, can be disobedient, can be defiant, can be rebellious, can be mean, can be a bully, and you just sit there and you condone it, you enable it, you don't address it, you don't reprimand them, there are no consequences for their bad behavior. That child is growing up to feel spoiled, selfish, and entitled. They are spoiled because they think the whole world revolves around them. They don't have to ask for anything. Everything is supposed to just be given to them, and everyone around them is supposed to cater to them, because you see this happening with children wherever they go, when they go to school, when they go to daycare, when they go to work, when they get older and they go to work or whatever they do, whenever they are around other people, other adults, they expect that same type of treatment that the parent gives them at home. They expect other adults to give them that same type of treatment, and that child is going to deal with confusion because they think that everyone else is supposed to spoil them and coddle them the same way their parent does, and they have a rude awakening when the other adults are not about to do that. They're going to have a rude awakening when they realize that they don't get all this special treatment and special privileges that they get at home. They're going to have a rude awakening. But the thing is, that child still feels like it doesn't matter because when I go home, I can have all of that. But let me tell you, that child will sit there and fight to the core to do whatever it is that they can to make sure that if they feel entitled to certain things, they will fight to the tooth and nail to make sure that they get what they want and that their needs are met, their wants are met, and they are given that special treatment that they feel like they rightfully are entitled to. You're raising that favorite child. You're raising them to be selfish. They don't care about nobody else but themselves. They think they are the only ones here. They are the only ones that is important. They feel like if they are in a group with other people, other students, whether this is at school, whether this is in a sports community, whether this is a sports activity, whether this is community, whether this is a daycare, that child is going to think that they are the most important one and nobody else matters, but they are the only one that matters. You're also going to raise your child to be entitled to where they feel like they are supposed to get this special treatment. They are supposed to get everything they want. They are supposed to get everything they need. They feel like they are supposed to receive all of this type of just special treatment that they get at home. They feel they are supposed to get that every single time. They feel entitled to everything. They feel entitled to get everything that they want. They feel entitled to your yes over your no. They feel like if you tell them no, then I don't want to take no for an answer. I'm going to get my yes. You're teaching your child to be entitled. And then when you have an entitled child that goes around to other people and goes around to other communities, that child is going to cause a lot of it's going to cause a lot of destruction and disturbance amongst other people. What that entitled child is going to do is that child is going to drain the energy of other adults around them, whether it is teachers, whether it is coaches, other or caregivers. Other adults around them are going to feel drained by this child because this child is pulling on their energy so much because they are so used to their parents who figure in their life pouring so much energy into them, and that's how they feel the dynamic of relationships and relations with other adults are supposed to be, that they're supposed to get all of the attention, all of the energy, all of the attentiveness, and that everybody else just gets on the back burner. So they come and they just pull on that energy in other adults because that's the dynamic that you have set for your child. And you're raising a child to not give a fuck about nobody else but themselves. Okay. And another thing is that child is not even going to give a fuck about you, because all they see you as is their means of supply. This one just gives me all of this love. They just support me. They just give me all of this special treatment, but I don't have to respect them. I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to be obedient to them, because I just expect to get this because you have just showed me that I'm just so special and I deserve everything, and I don't have to give you that same respect. So when that favorite child starts turning on you and starts acting funny towards you and starts being disrespectful and defiant and disobedient, and you're wondering what the hell, you caused it, mama, you caused it, daddy. But let's also talk about that other child, the child that is not favored. That child that is not favored, they're going to have behavioral issues because all they want is attention. They're not receiving any type of attention. That child is going to grow up, the child that is definitely treated worse than their other sibling or siblings. That child is going to feel like they are unlovable. They are going to feel like they are not valuable. They are going to feel like they are not as important. They're going to have such low self-esteem. You're going to have a child that is severely depressed, has a lot of anxiety. You're going to have that child that gets very clingy to other adults, that gives them attention because they didn't receive it at home. But that other adult is going to sometimes feel overwhelmed at times because I can't give all this energy to you if I have to give this to others as well. You're going to deal with kids that may have such horrible behavior issues that they are going to feel as if they have to act out and just be defiant, just act in such a bad way, because the only time they actually got attention is that they were doing something bad or doing something wrong. So they feel the need to act out and to get themselves in trouble so that they can get the attention that they seek. But because they think any attention is better than nothing. But when they get attention for being bad, because they don't get attention for when they do something good, but they get attention for when they do something bad, you are teaching your child that they have to be bad in order to get attention. And a lot of times when you are training your child to be that way, it's sad because they're not given respect and compassion and empathy at home, and then they come outside of the home, and then the way that they were taught on how to be was to be bad. Now they're going to cause behavioral issues, and they're going to constantly be getting in trouble in school and daycare, just in communities, in sports, everywhere. They're constantly going to be getting in trouble because their parent did not solidify a relationship and a dynamic where they are deemed as valuable and lovable. When you treat your child like they are less than, they're going to feel like they are less than, or they're going to accept less than behaviors from other people. And then when your child grows up, because when the child is very young, you're not realizing how it happens. But let me tell you, as young as 4 years old, these children can start displaying these issues and start displaying these problems and predicaments. They can start displaying these types of behaviors. And if you as the parent don't nip it in the bud and reverse Uno card on that, you're going to have a child that behavior is only going to get worse as a child progresses. Let me tell you, I have witnessed this with my own 2 eyes. Children as young as 4 years old. One is the favorite, one is not the favorite. And I see this with my own 2 eyes. I have observed this. So don't tell me that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Let me tell you. Another thing that happens is when the parent does not fix that dynamic, what's going to happen is the child is going to get older. That child that is the favorite, they're going to go into, school settings and just thinking that they are just holier than thou. They're going to have just this grandiose sense of self-esteem. Like it's going to be confidence, but it's also going to be a cockiness. They're going to have this cockiness to them, acting as if they are just better than everybody else. And they're going to look down on others, talk down on others. And then when they see other students that displays behaviors of things that they see within the home, they're going to target those kids. They're going to bully those kids. They're going to mess with those kids. Or if the child at home watches their unfavorite sibling, the non-favorite sibling, get mistreated, and then what that child is going to do is they're going to go off to school and they're going to see people be mistreated. They're not going to stand up for them. They're not going to do anything to help. Even if it is a friend of theirs, they're going to think, I don't necessarily have to do that because what I have to do. And also what's going to happen is when you pin children against each other by treating one better than the other, and the child that is treated better, they're going to think that it is socially acceptable to treat their sibling as less than and bully their sibling and not defend their sibling, not stick up for their sibling. If their sibling is being mistreated or being bullied, this sibling up here that is the favorite, they're not going to do anything to help defend that sibling because they don't feel like they have to. They didn't do it in the home, so why should they do it outside of the home? You have to understand, parents, that you solidify the dynamic of a child's relationship, their well-being, their mindset, their self-esteem, that they are going to carry with them. Children, they bring their dynamic in the home, outside of their home. They bring it to school. They bring it to church. They bring it to sports communities. They bring it to the daycare. And when you see all of these issues transpiring is because of the dynamic you have set for your child in the home. And if you are a parent that favors one child over the other, you are a horrible parent. You don't deserve to be a parent, and you don't even need to have kids, because that's not how children are supposed to be treated. And I hope one day you wake up and